mostly because it's in the cafeteria, but either way. I want to start out by actually talking about myself. I've worked with many of you, but outside of working with A2K or in the classroom on customer service classes, you guys really don't have an opportunity to get to know me. I think that's very important when you're voting for someone. Born and raised in Des Moines, grew up on the south side, went to Hal Weeks in Lincoln High School. I now live in West Des Moines with my partner Jake and my dog Duchess. So other than that, I like doing the normal things, going to movies. I go to the gym often. I shop sometimes too much. And I like to travel. Whenever I get the opportunity, whether it's a quick road trip or taking a cheap flight that I found, I like to get out and experience new things. My professional career actually started the day after I graduated high school. I became a professional dancer and choreographer for a dance company based out of Plano, Texas. So I moved to Plano, Texas the day after I graduated high school. Did that professionally, worked in over 30 states in less than 4 months, teaching about 18,000 students. So very busy person back then. From there I decided to settle back in Iowa, missed my mom. So I settled at Target, whereas the team lead of their electronics and their entertainment departments there. Moved to principal, was a team lead of their imaging department and their team trainer as well. Then after that I moved to ING, and this is really where I consider the beginning of my professional career to begin. I was a senior new business coordinator there, working with the agents. They'd submit new business, and I'd have to make that dreaded phone call to tell them that we can't accept this, we're rejecting it. So my job all day was being told I was an idiot, basically, and that the client did sign the app, we just couldn't see it. So all those various things, which I'm sure you've all experienced. From there, I learned that being an idiot all day wasn't what I wanted to do. So on the job, I got to do some one-on-one training, and I wanted to be in the training department. I worked for it, applied a couple times. Third time, I finally got it. And I was very ecstatic about the position. I've been in training ever since then. Also contingent to my role as a trainer, I filled many roles with our diversity networks, which they called employee networks. So I began one as a local network, which spawned out nationally. I was the local chairman of that for about 5 years. And then from there, I was elected to the national board. I served as a national co-chair and also the national treasurer for 4 years. And then I was also on the global steering committee. In 2007, I actually won the Role Model of the Year award alongside Kimberly Kelly. So that's something that we're both very proud of for our work that we did for the company. That experience of being in the employee networks really gave me the opportunity to learn how to work with, communicate, and collaborate with senior management of all levels, taking suggestions from the employees all the way up to working one-on-one with the CEO every single month. From there, I moved here to Aviva. Been here for about a year and a half, starting in October 07. Training department. I'm a learning and development consultant. We see and hear everything. So it's amazing to see the inconsistencies and the lack of communication that our company has, and that's something that I really hope that this council can provide. Outside of my professional career, I do a lot of volunteer work. Right now, since 2006, I'm on the executive board of the All Iowa AIDS Benefit, in charge of their biggest fundraiser of the year. Last year, we raised about $60,000 in one day. That was a big accomplishment that I'm very proud of. I'm a peer advocate for the AIDS Project of Central Iowa. With that, I lead education. I go into schools, I go into colleges, talk in public forums like this about HIV transmission and protection methods. With that, you have to be comfortable talking about anything, because people will tell you everything. And so I'm comfortable talking to all levels of people about any topic possible. Outside of that, I am also a certified adjudicator and pageant coach for the Miss America Foundation. So I work with Miss Iowa in the regional and local levels. And then I also am a fundraising committee member for One Iowa Foundation based down here in Des Moines. I want to talk about my mission. You know a little bit more about me now my mission. I'm not coming into this with a preset agenda because we don't really know what this council is going to accomplish yet. We need to hear it from you first. You're going to have to step up to the plate and you're going to have to talk to us. We're going to have to figure out a way as a council to get that communication, whether it's a survey, an info box as Kim mentioned, email communications. We have to figure out a way that we can actually get that data from the employees because that's where it is. Working in the classroom, one-on-one with people, you see the inconsistencies, you notice the breakdown of communication, and you really experience it yourself, not just with their jobs, but with our jobs as well. So that's something that Aviva needs to do. We've gone through a lot of growing pains, but now we really need to solidify as that one Aviva. I want to make work more enjoyable. So we're all here 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We have great PTO, we have our weekends off, but still, we can still make this place a little more fun. I don't mean we have to run around having crazy hat days or anything, but there are simple things that we can do, and that's where your suggestions really need to come into play as well, is how can we make your life more enjoyable? I'm actually a little bit upset right now. I just came back from teaching a class, and people in my class didn't even know that there was an election being held this week. So they didn't even know there was an advisory council being formed. That sends a red flag to me that they're too wrapped up in their day-to-day jobs that they're not having time to do these other things that are making our workplace more effective and more efficient by not obtaining a work-life balance, but attaining that life-work balance. The last thing is I want to pave the road to success. We have no clue what this road is going to look like. It is an empty field right now. We have to dig it up, we have to pat it down, and we have to lay the foundation. Whoever gets elected to this board is going to have a long year or two ahead of them. We got to dig deep. We got to find it within ourselves. We have to struggle. We're going to have to work on our communication and actually execute our plans. It's a very long road. My agenda is your agenda. The last thing I wanted to end with, I had this on a PowerPoint, so I'm just going to read it out loud to you. It's a quote from John F. Kennedy. Even though it was spoken to about intolerance, I feel it really applies to our lives here at Aviva. When you teach a man to hate and fear his brother, when you teach that he is a lesser man because of his color, his beliefs, or the policies he pursues, when you teach that those who differ from you threaten your freedom, your job, your family, then you also learn to confront others, not only as fellow citizens, but as enemies, to meet with cooperation, to not meet with cooperation, but with conquest, to be subjugated and mastered. We learn that at last to look at our brothers as aliens, men with whom we share a city, but not a community. Men bound to us in a common dwelling, but not in our common effort. We learn to share only common fear, only common desire to retreat from each other, only a common impulse to meet in disagreement with force. Our lives on this planet are too short, and the work to be done far too great to let this spirit flourish any longer. Of course, we cannot banish it with a program nor with a resolution. But we can perhaps remember, even if only for a time, that those who live with us are our brothers, that they share with us the same short movement in life that they speak as we do. Nothing but chance to live out their lives in purpose of happiness, winning what satisfaction and fulfillment that they can. Surely this bond of common faith is a bond of common goal. This can begin to teach us something. Surely we can learn, at least to look at those around us as fellow men. And surely we can begin to work a little harder to bind up the wounds among us and to become in our hearts brothers and countrymen once again. And with that, I really want to point out a couple sentences that were in here, which were on the slide, but I'll read them. Confronting others not only as fellow citizens, but as enemies. To be met with cooperation, but not with conquest. Kimberly hinted towards this, we're very siloed. We have to bring those silos together to be effective. We're not working in a common effort. We only have the common impulse to meet in disagreement and force when changes occur. We cannot banish this feeling or this culture with a single program or a simple initiative. We have to actually commit to it and follow through. The last thing I would do is we really need to work for a common goal. This is time for us to band together. Use this opportunity of the advisory council as an organizational tool that's going to build not only our individual success, but our success as a company. Thank you.